We're now joined by Brad Keselowski, driver of the number 6 RFK Racing Ford. Similar to the last driver, we will go ahead and open it up right to questions. If you have one, please raise your hand and we will get a mic over to you. Who would like to start? Come down here to Dustin and then go to Steve.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Brad, you had all 3 cars finish in the top 10 last week at Michigan for the first time in 10 years. Is that something that you celebrated, or it's still about wins and further progress, and let's not get too happy about what happened at Michigan?
No, it was certainly not anything to be embarrassed by, but a new mark for us since we've become RFK, to put 3 cars up front, and we just want to do it more often. We want to win. We're, as a company, just fighting really hard to break through to the next level. And, we have these intermittent flashes and, sparks, and we want it to turn into a roaring fire. And so you look for key indicators, and, that is one of those key indicators. We just need it to be more often. And so, this is a big stretch for us. We want to get all 3 of our cars in the playoffs. It appears it's going to take wins for all 3 cars to do that. Maybe we'll get 1 car with points. We've had a couple really strong races, but haven't broke through for victory lane, and I'm disappointed by that. I feel like we're bringing efforts that are close to being able to do that. We just haven't got there, right? So you can't do anything about the races behind us, but the races in front of us, just trying to be laser focused to achieve results.
And you mentioned the races in front of you. So this weekend is the first of 4 races on road courses in the last 11 races of the regular season. I know that the 17 has been strong on road courses. You've had moments and you've had other times where you haven't been. What's the challenge for you personally on this stretch, and even for your organization?
Well, I thought we ran really well with all 3 of our cars, or all 3 of our cars at COTA were a factor at one point. Didn't necessarily get the win, but showed some strength. The last 3 road course races, I think RFK, both teams have been very strong. Chris won Watkins Glen at the end of last year. We were really strong at the Roval with the 6 car. And we got wrecked twice, but and then COTA, all 3 cars should have had top 10s there. So a lot of strength. High hopes coming here. Would like to get all 3 cars in the top 10 and 1 in victory lane, and I think that's a real possibility. No problem, Dustin. Thank you.
We'll go
Brad,
to
Steve Post from Motor Racing Network. The driver, Brad Keselowski, preparing for this, how did you prepare for it? Have you walked the track? Have you done the track walk? What do you see? What's your optimism? What are your concern areas? Just what's your take on what we're going to see as far as the racing on this racetrack here?
Yeah, I was here in 2008 and ran the NASCAR, at that time, nationwide race. And so it's not all too foreign to me. The track's changed a lot since then. When Formula One came with some of their new track rules over the last decade, they made some big changes to the track, particularly the curbing and the runoffs that affect the way the track races. So it's a little bit different, but I've got a pretty good feel for being around here, and I think we put in the preparation that we would expect to put in for any road course.
Come down here to Matt and then go in the middle to Bob.
Matt Weaver, The Sporting News. When we look at your 3 cars, there are local and regional sponsorships on the wraps. I'm curious, what are the business opportunities that come along, the opportunities to be able to branch out as a company, all your companies, in racing here?
Yeah, the strength for us coming to Mexico here is as we try to grow the sport internationally, whether that be the fan base, but also candidly the partners. All of the partners that we brought here have international ties. Castrol, pretty self-explanatory. Colgate on the 60 car, pretty self-explanatory, and Fastenal with some of the things they're doing. So I think all 3 of them kind of got excited about this race, which is good. That's just what you look for as a team owner. You want races where your partners are excited, because partners still are 60 to 70% of your team's revenue, and when they're excited, it's easy for us to get excited. So that bodes well.
And then it's not apples to apples, but your Cup career could be traced to like these little key moments to where someone couldn't get in the car and you could. And obviously Ryan Truex is much older than you were in that situation. But is there still an opportunity for a guy like that in this situation where he gets in a really good Cup car, has a chance to shine, that a guy at 33 years old can make a name for himself this weekend?
I think this world, not just racing, is full of opportunities. You got to go seize them. I don't think that's changed here in NASCAR, in particular in motorsport. There's small opportunities that pop up for people that don't come with money. You got to break those doors open when that happens. This is a terrific opportunity for Ryan. I think a lot of people are excited to see him get it. And where it could go, it really depends on how he does. I think he probably knows that.
We'll go to Bob.
Probably, man.
Bob Pockris, Fox Sports. Are you kind of clear on track limits here for the weekend, or will you be watching Xfinity and see how things are officiated to know?
No, there's always enough wiggle room in the rule book for a lot of ambiguity on track limits. So I think it's wise to observe the patterns of enforcement and recognizing that they're subjective.
And some teams had trouble getting here. They had to adjust the schedule. I know it's a little bit of wear and tear on kind of teams and equipment. So I'm curious, just in evaluating the first day, does it change any of your view about being here?
RFK, all of our logistics seem to work pretty well. So I've got a different hat in than probably some other people, but there are challenges to racing international that are different. I suspect that the industry will relearn some of those lessons from a decade plus ago and be equipped to handle it better the next time. But for RFK, I would say there's not a glaring issue.
Any other questions for Brad? All right, Brad. Thanks for joining us. Good luck today.
Thank you.